Cycles it back over to Nichols. Picked up by Barthel. Shot attempt back out to the point. Set all the way back down. .31 seconds left on the power play for Team Philadelphia. Doc comes across the blue line, tries to set something up. Kobe with a whiff. Penalty coming up on Powell for throwing an elbow at Aiden's head. So at the 1:53 mark. So Team Philly with the two-man advantage. Puck's down, back over, Heston gathers it. Back out to the point to Cusa. Okay, first penalty is off, so 5-on-4. Still a man advantage. Ricky at the point. Back over to Cusa. Cycles it back over to Ricky. Picked up by Cusa. Cusa looking. Back over to Bops. Bops. Picks it up. Back out to Cusa. Cycle it back out top to Ricky. Over to Cusa. .54 seconds left in the period. Cusa gains the zone. Comes back, looks up, and turns it back over. Cycle back over. Jake over to help. And a penalty coming up on Team Philadelphia for a tripping call for Bobst. For 36 seconds, 29 seconds left in the period. Sent over to the back wall. Thies picks it up. Turns the corner. Sent it back over to Lang. Lang charges up. Shot attempt by Thies gets by the outside edge. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe. Try to hit Thies on the opposite side. 2-1. And that'll do it. back at it. Team Philly on a penalty kill for the next minute and 20 seconds. Cycle back over to Lang. Lang tries to push it outside the zone. Taps it forward, back over to Doherty. Doherty. Back out to Lucas. Gets a shot attempt off. Goes wide. Back out to Lang. Lang try to swipe at it. Loses it back over. Doc sends it long. All the way back over to the opposite corner. Having a lot of technical difficulties here, folks. Sorry. So Team Philly still on a penalty kill with 24 seconds left. Back over, Luka charging at the puck, 18. Picked back up by Luka. Luka, one-man show. Try to get a shot off between three defenders. 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's even strength. Jake on the ice. Back over to Ricky. Ricky sends it back up into the neutral zone. Jake's there, try to punch it through. Ricky's back out. Sends it over to the opposite side. Lang reaches for it, loses it, back over to Luka. Luka is trying to decide on it. Bart comes away with it. Sends it deep. Back behind the net. Goes long. And that'll be a icing call. .451, second period, 2-0. Fisher, face off, turns and took a shot. Cusa swipes at it back into the corner. Nichols back over to retrieve. Cusa back over, retrieved by Nichols. Nichols pushes forward, gets by a defender, back over. Cusa sends it back out to the point, over to Tobin. Tobin cycles it back all the way around, back into the opposite corner. Sent back out. Tobin picks it up before the icing call. Back out to Fisher. Fisher gets around the corner, beats his man. Gets a shot off, goes off the goalie into the back corner. Thies drops it back around over to Fisher. Fisher tried to cycle it back over to Cusa. Cusa. Fisher waiting. Try to drive in. Thies at the point. Try to hold up at the blue line. Powell comes through. Cycles it back behind the net. Opposite side goes off the back. Back over to Nichols. Tobin back over to Cusa, and that's an icing call. Lucas, Colin, Kobe, Bobst, and Ricky. Puck's down, back over. Colin over to retrieve it. Sends it back over to Kobe. Kobe tabs it forward. It's getting held. Lucas back into the corner. Tried to send it back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it back over to Lucas. Sends it all the way out to the point to Ricky. Ricky back over to Colin. Powell sends it out to the neutral zone. Penalty coming up. So Team Philly will be on a power play for 2 minutes after a high stick call. Bart, Kobe, Lucas, Nichols. Back out to Nichols at the point. Cycles it back over. Goes off of Bart. Back over against the wall to Colin. Colin, back down. Turns a corner. Gets around. Shuffles it back out to Doc at the point. Over to Lucas. Kobe on the opposite side. Team Philly's having extreme difficulties trying to get their power play together. Powell pulls it back out, sends it deep all the way to the opposite side. Back over to Barthel, just outside of his reach, taps it forward. That was a high stick. No call on the high stick for Team Philadelphia. Back over to Doc. 35 seconds. Over to Kobe. Kobe. Pass attempt. Still stuck in a defender's shirt. Makes its way all the way to the back wall. 16 seconds. Heston. Back in the neutral zone over to Box. Box sends it deep. Cycles it back out to Ricky at the point. Ricky gets a shot attempt off. Sent back out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Cusa. Cusa back in the wings, got Fisher. Back out to Fisher. Fisher backhand goes over the net. Fisher gathers it. Back out to Bobs at the point. Can't control the puck. Back out to Bobs. Goaltender guides it in. That'll be an icing call. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe back over to Colin. Back over to Kobe. Try to center it. Picked up by Powell. Now it's into the neutral zone. Referee gets in the way. And Powell capitalizes on a referee interference. So at the 9:30 mark, and there's an upcoming penalty on Jake. Roughing call on Jake at the 9:11 mark. Team Philly's killing themselves right now. Puck's down, picked up, sent back over to Thies. Thies breaks away from the backside, sends it up, goes all the way back. Goalie sends it around to the opposite side. Bart overruns the puck. Kyle comes away with it. Gets by Luca, picks it back up, centering pass all the way to the opposite side. Justin with a kick save into the corner. Thies picks a man off the puck. Back out, opposite side. Picked back up by Luca. Luca clears the puck. Powell comes around, sends it back over to the corner. Opposite side. Nice save by Justin. Penalty coming up on Powell, I believe. Yep, for an interference call at the 7:38 mark. Justin getting peppered back there. That was a beautiful save. So 4-on-4 for 27 seconds. 3-0. Powell wins face-off, comes back out in the neutral zone. Now it's picked up by Tobin, and they'll have a slashing call coming up on Team Philadelphia. So Team Philadelphia will be down 2 players. So 4-on-3. Powell picks it up, back out to the point. Wow, that puck just barely rolled outside of the edge of the goal. And Justin puts a glove on it. Still 1 second left on the first penalty by Team Philly, so 4-on-3 still. Back over, Tobin sends it back up. Lucas in a foot race, try to get to it. 4-on-4. Powell comes across. Tobin back over, knocks it away. Back over to Fisher. Fisher, back over to Lucas. Lucas loses it off his stick, pulls it back out, sets it up, then loses an edge. Gets a shot off. Ricky back over to Lucas. Back over to Fisher, coming up the opposite side. Gets shot off. Goaltender saves it. Picked up by Colin. Colin drops it in. Cal gains the puck. Comes out. Sends it over to the opposite side. So 4-on-4 for 19 seconds. Nichols, Thies, Cusa, Lang. Back over to Ricky, back to Nichols. Nichols tried to send it forward. Back over. Centers. Thies pokes at it. Back over to Cusa. Sent back over to Thies. Thies. So even strength at the 5:33 mark. Goes off the crossbar. Cusa strikes back out to Lang. Lang takes a shot, goes wide. Over to Thies, drops it back down over to Fisher. Back over to Fisher. Scores! I think Cusa picked the puck up to finally put Team Philly on the board for the first goal at the 5:03 mark. So 3-1, the 5:03 mark. Puck's dropped, back over, sends it forward, Bops picks it up, sends it into a neutral zone. Deep, picked up by Bops. Bops with a turnover. Good job by Justin, holds it back up. Hits Kobe on the outside side. Lucas coming up the top. Gets a shot off, goes wide of the net. Bops holds it in, sent back over to the other side. Lucas tried to do a stick lift. Sent back over to the opposite board. Bops picks it up, tried to clear the zone. Picked up. Lucas across the blue line. Loses the puck. Five on five, 4:09, 3-1. Cal is up. Lucas, Bops, Colin. Lucas wins it back to the back wall. Cycles it back opposite side. Colin's there, back looking. Turns it back over. Back over to Kobe. Picked off right in the slot. Back over to Colin. Colin couldn't control. Picked up by Powell. Powell comes across the blue line. Center pass. Knocked back over by Lucas. Back over to Kobe. Kobe gets a shot off. That's an icing call. Touchdown Bart with Luca sent back out to Ricky at the point. Luca tangles up the defender, makes his way out in the neutral zone. Ricky sends it over to the opposite side. Bart out to the point, Lang. Ooh, almost redirected off his own player just outside the edge of the goal. Luca, back out to Bart. Bart takes a shot. Nice knockdown by Lang. .22 left in the second period. Icing call. Back over. Nichols tried to gather it, couldn't. Back into the back corner. Cusa getting physically beaten up. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher tried to turn. Justin. Makes its way through. Cusa loses it. Turn and fire, pick it up and score. So 4-1 at the 1:28 mark of the third period. Puck's down. Allen sends it up neutral zone. Lucas tried to gather it. Picked up. Got. And a slow roll to the goaltender. Kobe takes a shot, goes wide. Having problems trying to locate the 4x6. 1 minute left in the second period. Opposite side, back over to Lucas. Send it back up to Coben. Coben gets over to Kobe, outside of his reach. Can't control it. Kobe pressure onto the puck. Can't remove the player. Back out. All the way back to Richard. Richard back out to Tobin. Tobin. Can't control the puck. So offsides. Snow on the ice is killing. .23 seconds left. 4-1 Pal. Puck down. Set long all the way to the back wall. Justin thought about it. Bops send it over to the opposite side. Pal picks it up against the wall. All the way. Back. Picked up by Fisher. Takes a shot attempt. Picked up by Ricky, try to send it across, gets knocked down, Pal picks it up, centering pass, backhand, and Justin gets on it. Pal wins it back, picks it up against the wall. Justin swipes at it. Offsetting penalties, Lucas and number 88. Roughing calls, so be even strength, 5-on-5. Down, back over, Bops gets it, try to get it through, back over to Nichols. Nichols clears it back up over to Cusa. Cusa has got Fisher with him. Gets a backhanded shot, goes wide of the net. Send back up, Bops is back out to the point, shuffled back over to Bops. Bops dumps it in. Back to the back wall. Shot goes over top of Justin's head, picked up by Ricky. Sent back over to the opposite side. Foul. Sends it to the opposite corner, does a line change, back over. Couldn't get it to Cusa. Back over to Luca. Luca across the blue line. Sent all the way to the back wall. Lying back over to pick it up. Center pass makes its way back out to Jake. Jake. Back over to Luca. Luca tried to knock it down. Good so. Back out to Thies at the point. Sends it on net, goes wide. Pick back up. Center pass gets picked off. Thies back over, gets it over to Luca. Luca looking. Centering pass. Sticks lifted. Pieces. Lang. Back over. Good back check. Powell picks it up. Collin gets a piece of it, one-on-one with the goaltender. Scores! Collin with a beautiful defensive pickup. Gets Team Philly its second goal with a great effort after a Powell player fell down. So at the 13:54 mark, 4-2. Puck was lodged in the back of the net. They couldn't locate it. Lucas, Doc, Kobe, Ricky, and Bob. 4-2. One back over to Ricky. Ricky sends it deep. Lucas on the back check. Shuffles it back over to Doc. Doc takes an odd bounce off the wall. Literally just came 90 degrees. Back over to box, and that goes into the protective netting. Back over to Lucas. Lucas sends it back over to Doc. Doc, breakaway, comes back out. Try to get a pass off. Kobe falls down off his edges. Powell picks it up. Gets it by the defender, sends it back up, 2-on-1 opportunity. Knocked down by Ricky. Good defensive stick. Collin gathers it, sends it deep. Lucas tries to knock it down, picks it back up, center pass back in the slot. Ooh, Collin gets a shot off. Center pass by Powell. Justin sends it back over to opposite side, over to Ricky. Ricky tried to clear the zone. Lucas is there, sends it back up, all the way back. Send it deep. Justin knocks it back over. Oh my gosh, centering pass, that was dangerous. Braden. Back over. Sent all the way back. And that should be an icing call. So at the 12:04 mark, 4-2. Fisher. Back over to Cusa. Cusa had it swiped away. Powell sends it over to the opposite side. Peace. Over to gather it. Pick up by Nichols. Nichols turns around, pops, gets a shot off. Blocker side saved by the goaltender. Cycle back over to Cusa. Cusa. Try to center pass. Gets moved off the puck. Cusa. Powell up against the back wall. Peace knocks it back over. Nichols back over. Pulls it back through. Opportunity. Couple opportunities. Still pulled through. Oh my gosh. Could not capitalize on it. Pucks back out to the top. Shot attempt goes wide. Dribbles across the goal. Powell picks it up behind the net. Now Tobin gets it. Sends it back over to the opposite wall. Powell gets the rebound. Yes. Trying to figure out what the situation is. So I know Tobin's in the box, and I know Powell players in the box. Looks to be a 5-on-4. It's a power play for Powell. Back out to the point, shuffled opposite side. Sent around to the opposite side. Back onto the point. Kick save by Justin. Cycle it back up after they clear the zone. Sent back over to the opposite side. Sent deep. Justin back to try to retrieve it. Picked up by Lang. Lang had his stick lifted. Set back. Back over. Back out. Nichols is there. Taps it forward the opposite side. Sent all the way deep back over to Ricky. Ricky turns the corner. Gets knocked off the puck. Powell gathers it. Picked back up by Braden Fisher. Braden. We got a penalty coming up on Powell. Braden all the way to the back wall. Slashing call coming up on Powell at the 8:38 mark. So it'll be a 4-on-4 with 8:38 left in the game. 9 seconds left on Team Philadelphia's original call. Four and four for 9 seconds. Bart, Lucas, Aiden, Colin. So it's 4-minute penalty on 88. Back out to Nichols. He tried to get it in, sent it back up. Couldn't control it. Shuffled back, picked up by Lucas. Now, I know I have it more time, but it's a power play for 4 minutes. 2 consecutive penalties. Lucas picks it up. Back over to Kobe. Cycles it back over to Lucas. Jumps his stick. Picked back up. Kobe. Man, the snow is so thick, it's ridiculous. Skips across. Lucas sends it back out to the point to Nichols. Takes a shot, goes wide. Another shot goes wide. Lucas is there, tries to pick it back up over to Bart, back out to the point to Nichols. Opposite side, back over to Colin, 3-11. Nichols try to take a shot attempt. Broken stick. Nice save by Justin. Picked up by Doherty. Nichols comes off the ice and picks up a stick. Back over to the opposite side to Bart. Bart sends it back out, hits the referee. Dump back down. Shuffles it back over to Bart. Bart looking. Back out to Nichols at the point. Scores! Lucas hits the top shelf to make it a 4-3 game. And so there were 2 penalties on number 88. So that will scrub the first penalty. So there'll still be 2 minutes left at the 7:07 mark. So Team Philly will have a man advantage at the 7:07 mark. Two minutes. So waiting for the game clock reset. It's sitting at 2:29 on the penalty, and they need to reset it to 2 minutes. There it is. All right, so 2 minutes to 7:07. Touchdown. Pick back up. Fisher gathers it. Ricky comes across the blue line. Try to take it himself back over to Bops. Bops cycles it back over. Puts it on his backside of his stick. Cycles it back out to Fisher. Fisher back out to Ricky at the point. Redirect. Goes to the opposite corner. The snow on this ice is so crazy that the puck just stops. Picked back up by Cusa. Now it's back over to Jake. Jake looking. Minute 6 left. Send over to the opposite side over to Fisher. Fisher pops it back out to Ricky at the point. Back out to Fisher. Fisher tried to cycle back over to Ricky. Sent all the way down. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Back over to Fisher. Fisher, turnover in the neutral zone. Now it's picked back up. Bart. Ricky. Lucas comes back out on the ice. Back over, 31 seconds. Opposite side over to Doherty. Doherty back over to Bart. Bart looking. Back out to Lucas. Scores! Lucas hits another shot to tie this up. So Team Philly battles back at the 5:29 mark to make this a 4-4 game. Pick back up, over to Thies. Thies drops it in, sent back all the way to the opposite side. Kobe back over to put pressure on, gets it off the stick, centers it right to a defender. Centers back, Thies. Back all the way, back in the neutral zone. Lucas tips it. Penalty, delayed penalty coming up on Powell. Justin comes off the net, extra guy, Kobe gets a shot off. Back over to the back wall, Lucas is there looking, cycles it back over, an extra man on for Team Philadelphia. Back over to Lucas, Lucas back over to Kobe, Kobe gets a shot off. All the way to the back wall, Lucas picks it up again, cycles it back over to Colin. Colin looking, sent it out to the point to Richard. Richard, opposite side, back over to Lang at the point. Gets a shot attempt. Oh, I thought that went in. Still live. So actually, no, I thought it was a penalty coming up. My apologies. I saw the referee raise his arm. 4:21. Puck's down. Shot attempt. Oh, goalie didn't see that one coming. The puck is just dying on the ice. Picked back up by Cusa. Fisher tried to send it back out to the point. Cusa picks it up. And the goaltender gloves it down. 4-3. Puck's down. Fisher tried to pull it through. Unable to do so. Back out to the point. Ricky on a back check. Back over. Back out. Ricky gathers it. Centers it back up. Picked up at the boards by Powell. Back over to Nichols. Nichols comes up. Comes across, back over to Cusa. Cusa back over to Fisher. Fisher takes a shot attempt, goes off a defender's shin pads. Cycle back over to Cusa. Cusa looking. Back out. Get it over to Fisher. Nichols gets a shot off. Back out to Lang. Lang takes a shot. Back out to Cusa. Try to feed Fisher coming up center ice. Back out. Thies. Dragged back into the zone by Powell. Powell, man, I'd say this. Lucas out onto the ice, waits for the zone to clear. Back out to Thies. Back all the way. Back out to Thies. 2:38 left. Lucas. Back up to Bart. Bart streaking up the opposite side. Kick save. Back into the corner. Doc sends it over to the opposite side. Cycles it back over to Lucas. Lucas back over to Doc. Try to feed it back out to Lucas. Out to the point to Lang. Loses it into the neutral zone. Cycles it back in. Delayed offsides. Now it's cleared. Powell comes around. 2:14 left. Oh, picked up by Colin. Now Bart. Back over to Colin. Try to feed it up. Good stick. Sent forward, picked back up. Swipe that. Shot attempt. And Justin puts a glove down on it. So 1:44 left in the game, 4-4. Team Philly putting some serious pressure on now. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols with Bobs, and Ricky with 1:44 left. Puck's down, back over, Bobs. Gets it up to Cusa. Couldn't control it. Back into the neutral zone. Back over to Bobs. Cusa splits the defender. Opposite side. Had Fisher, but intercepted by a defender. Picked back up by Ricky. Ricky takes a swipe at it. Good pickup. Good knockdown. 1:13 left. Ricky tried to swipe and send it out of the zone. Now it's out of the zone into the center ice. That looked like it could have been offsides. Back along the wall. Shot attempt goes wide. Bops. Back over to Cusa. Cusa drops it in over to Fisher. Fisher. Try to split a couple defenders. Good. 46 seconds. Splits a couple defenders. Cusa, a penalty coming up. Going to pull the guy up. 27 seconds and they're pulling it back. You can't do that. 24 seconds. Got an extra man on. 18. So 12 seconds left in regulation. Team Philadelphia will have a man advantage. So timeout being called. All right, so 12 seconds. So like I said, 12 seconds in regulation. Team Philly has a man advantage from a penalty. Out on the ice, Lucas, Nichols, Fisher, Bart, and Doc. Puck stack. Back over in the corner, they'll probably kill the puck. 7 seconds. And that'll kill it in regulation. Now we'll go to OT. It's a 3-minute overtime, 3-on-3. But because the Team Philly has a power play, it'll be an added man, so 4-on-3. Three minutes. Team Philly. So the rotating ends. So what Coach Wolf was saying, they switch ends. So Bart, Colin, Nichols, and Doc out on the ice. So 4-on-3 for a minute 49 seconds. Unsure of what's going on. Casey's given a 6-7. Oh, I could see. They're looking up the rules. It's 3 minutes. All right, so hopefully we're all set. 3 minutes. Bart on the face-off, flanked by Lucas and Doc. Pick back up, over to Nichols. Nichols gathers it. Cycles it back up to Doc. Doc looks to come across the blue line, does. Back over to Nichols, sets it up, gives it back out to the point, to Lucas. Gets a shot attempt off. Doc picks it up, back out to the point. Over to Lucas. Shot attempt. Cycled all the way back down. The puck will die. Back over. Bad turnover. Pick back up. 1 minute, 3 seconds. Back over to Lucas. Lucas. No, it doesn't go in. That puck was sitting right there. Look at that puck just died. Didn't make it across. Back over. Back over to Lucas. 42 seconds. Opposite side. Shot attempt. 34 seconds. Over to Doc. Back out to Lucas. Opposite side. Lucas. And makes his way outside the zone. 14 seconds left. Back out to Nichols. Picks it up by Doc. Doc takes a shot and goes wide. No way that comes off the net. Powell adding a fourth player here in a second. Back out to Fisher. Back out to Fisher. Shot attempt. So 4-on-4 for 1 minute, 5 seconds. Back out to Nichols. Takes a shot, gets knocked down by a defender. Nichols cycles it back over to Doc. Doc into the corner. Centering pass. Back out to Lucas. Now makes its way out to Fisher. Fisher back out to Nichols. Back out to Doc. 43 seconds. Tried to roof it. The puck just dies. Lucas is all the way back. Try to clear the zone. Justin. 26 seconds. Timeout by Team Philadelphia. So apparently Team Philadelphia is not allowed to call a timeout. So back to 3-on-3. So 3-on-3 with 26 seconds left in overtime. Puck's down, back over to Bops. Bops try to get it back up. 2-on-1 opportunity, back over. Also back, Lucas loses it off his stick. Back over, 12 seconds. Try to feed back over to Fisher. Fisher loses that. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And that'll do it. So this will end in a tie. So Team Philadelphia, after going down at the very beginning, battles back to get a tie and can't get the job done in overtime, but comes back with a tie. All right, so folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10:40 game.